Not the News.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Not the News. I'm your host, Matt Gil, and this is the place that you are. For real, you're here right now. Unless you change the channel, but please don't change the channel because I really want you to stay here. Our top story for today. Millions of Americans have received the order to stay home. While it's easier for some to stay at home, others are having a really difficult time learning to stay home and stay inside. That's why dogs are starting to fight back, as this dog says, "You thought dogs were hard to train. Look at all the humans that can't sit. Stay." Boy, they're way ahead of many of us. You know, a lot of people are looking to our leadership right now to figure out exactly how do we get through this? What do we do? What are some of the techniques? Like, exactly how do we get through this together? We actually had one of our investigative reporters who caught this moment between the President of the United States and one of his aides where he says, "Mr. President, the country has gone crazy. What's your plan?" And Trump says, "Release the Tiger documentary." I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys have heard of Tiger King. It's definitely all over social media. Many people are talking about it. I personally haven't watched it yet. However, I think I may take the leap and watch it over the weekend and do one of the Mornings with Matt shows, or actually talk about it here. But I'll tell you, if you haven't seen it, some say it's a must watch. Other people say it's the biggest train wreck that you just have to see, and then some people say stay away. So I'm not saying either or. I'm just saying that allegedly I may watch it this weekend. Here's what I want to keep in mind, that, you know, we are locked in and home, or well, not necessarily locked in, but have stay-at-home orders, and so that actually gives us a lot of time to think. One of my biggest pet peeves, even before any of this happened, was asking the question, "What do you want to eat?" And so for all of my friends and family that we ask that question, when we come out of this and I ask you where you want to eat, I don't want to hear "I don't know." You had 45 days. 45 days, you guys. So come on. Start thinking of the restaurants. I know exactly 2 of them that I'm going to be going to. One is a Mexican and one is a barbecue. I might even take you guys with me. And many of you guys have already fallen in love with Edwin the Elf, our news reporter. Well, he is on assignment today, but has tossed the weather report over to his assistant, Alexa. So, Alexa, what's the weather supposed to be like tomorrow? Her response, "Don't worry about it. You ain't going anywhere." You know, with everybody staying in, that really has led to, how do you manage being stuck inside? How do you manage being around people that, of course, you love and you care about and you're used to seeing for part of the day? But for many couples, many families, they're now inside their space 24/7. And so in today's episode of Not the News, we have a special edition on Real Talk, Real Marriage, where I talk to 2 phenomenal couples who give some highlights and some points on how to survive this quarantine time. Thanks. Joining me right now are 2 amazing, powerful couples that are here with a goal, that are here with a mission to create a transparent atmosphere, a space for couples to come together to learn how to adapt in these times right now, creating an environment where they can connect, communicate, and support one another during these crazy times called the coronavirus. And so joining me right now, all the way from not only California, but Delaware, is the one and only John and Esther and Anthony and Nikki. How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going,
How you doing?
it's going amazing. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules. Now, both of you guys have incredibly busy lives. Not only working, but family, pastoring, ministering, creating fellowship, creating connection. Like, just for you guys to stop and to take this moment to pour into this amazing community, I want to say thank you guys for your wisdom and who you are in the world, and for sharing that with us.
It's our honor.
Let me ask you this question.
Definitely.
What do you guys think is one of the biggest challenges that couples are having right now during this time of this coronavirus, of quarantine, of having to be together 24/7, 7 days a week?
space.
Space.
For sure.
Getting my space.
So how do you guys manage giving each other your own private space, but also having the time together as a couple? And we'll go to John and Esther first, and then we'll go to Anthony and Nikki.
We've been married for 32 years, so we're pretty good hats on giving each other, space when needed, and understand that we both need space. With that being said, we in the now, the today, with the being having a stay-at-home order, that space can't be, going out for a drive or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So we had to adapt and learn how to give each other space inside, and that's just just separate rooms, allowing and understanding if she's on a phone call, that sort of thing. Because usually, if she's on a phone call, coming through the door, that phone call is not going to be that long, because now it's my time.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we already had it in space. But now we have to understand and adapt that especially when we're working from home, that we're actually in a makeshift, so to speak, office environment, and you do your job and I do my job.
Right.
So we just kind of move from room to room, you know. So sometimes I'm in one room, sometimes he's in another room, and if I am about to go into that room and I feel I need my space and I see him there, I automatically know to leave that room. So that's how that's kind of how we create that space. And then one of the things we always have, and that's never changed, is that Friday night is always our date night, and so it still is, although we're at home.
Right.
But we just plan things, movies that we're at home, and now we've got a couple of our adult children home, and so with movie night, if they would like to join us, it's everyone, and if not, we could go upstairs to our bedroom. We have our Adam and Eve time.
Right. I love that. Adam and Eve time. I love that label. Nikki, Anthony, how do you guys manage giving each other space but also being connected?
You know what? That's also, as what John and Esther were saying. We really respect each other's space. It's definitely a new muscle that I'm using more, because I'm more of the, okay, how's everybody doing? How's my wife doing? How's our adult son doing? How's Gabby doing? And then the question sometimes never comes up, how am I doing? So we just actually had this conversation a couple of days ago, in which I felt just claustrophobic, and I was like, okay, babe, this is just getting too much.
Right.
I need to take off. And taking off was the backyard to exercise.
Wow.
It was amazing how much I felt 100% better after just spending some outside time with my baby, but to take care of my temple.
Right.
So, it's a muscle that I'm stretching more. She's pretty good at it, but we love being with each other. But it's important to respect each other's space. So we have our office. We have our offices, thank God. But, it's very difficult with the 6-year-old that wants to go and visit mom in her office, visit dad in her office. So, and then in the evening, what we do is we connect. How was your day? She enjoys, and I'll just put a plug in, not that every man has to do this, but I massage my wife's feet every day.
Every night.
Wow.
Yeah, learn, baby, learn.
That's another way as well, which ours is
Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think what was interesting that both John and Esther said is that you have to get creative, and we've been married 10 years, but we didn't always have money. So we had to get really creative. And then when we had Gabby, date night was Thursday, but we couldn't go out. So we made it at home, and Anthony would always buy roses. I love roses. I love more the meaning of roses, the colors.
Yeah.
So he's really good about buying them. He prides himself on knowing what the different colors mean. So we have that. I have my office, and And so we're pretty good about each other's space, but you do have to get creative and allow one another to just breathe, you know, especially at this time right here. And reconnecting with old hobbies. That's been another good thing too.
Yeah.
So you guys are both in really interesting dynamics differently as a couple. So, you guys have been married for what you said 32 years, and you have been married for 10 years. You've got a young child at home. She's what, 4, 6?
She's 6.
6 years old.
6.
Perfect. And you've got older kids that are at home. How is it having the family? Say that again.
Older adults.
Older adults, right? That they're still your kids forever, right? So you've got like
job never ends.
Right. What is it like having the family unit back, especially having older adults back at home in your space again, and then for you guys as a couple having a younger one who is high energy, a big spirit, wanting to do a lot. Dr. Marcy was just on the show earlier this week, and she was talking about routines and talking to your kids about what's happening so that they understand. What has it been like for you to be in this environment as a couple with your families?
I think for us, I think it's really been good, don't you think? Because they're here. My daughter's here. I've got 2 daughters, and my niece is here when she came from California and ended up being stuck. So what's great is that all of us know our space, and so it's funny because my son called us yesterday, and he's like, "Man, is anybody home?" Because everyone, I said, "No, we're all home, but we're just all in our own space." And so it's like we automatically know when to each go to our own space, and then we automatically know when to come together. And when we come together, we're having fun, we're dancing. I just learned to do the tick and just crazy things. So it's a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, just
TikTok. Hey, all right. It's fun. It's funny to see how many people are now starting to get onto TikTok and doing all of the crazy videos.
Yeah. So, and I think it's because they're adults. When they get bored, they step outside, and we kind of know, like, when we've got, time to go to our own space. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
when everyone starts to kneel down and get quiet, then it's pretty much everybody's time to kind of go their separate ways. And then we come back together, to kind of finish off the night doing something, together. So it's been fun.
It's amazing what you learn, because the other day they were all playing a game, but it was virtual with others.
Right.
And so they found their things to do as well. And it was just interesting just watching them. So I it's caused us, I think, in some ways to even draw closer together as a family, which is really good. So we've been enjoying it for the most part. No, we've not had any arguments, not anything, because we just know, time to go to your own space. Ding ding.
Everybody, there's the bell. Ding ding. Nikki, Anthony, you guys have youngins in your house. So tell us, how is that for you guys?
Yes, and then we have Isaiah too. And so what was interesting is I've been trying to have a coffee date with him for about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, but his schedule, whether it's personal or with his job or with school, it just didn't permit. And the other day we actually had tea time in the backyard.
Wow.
And then I listened to some of his music. He played his music. He likes a lot of underground, indie, and we just talked. And we talked and set the environment. It was as if we were at Starbucks, but we were at the Cervantes cafes. But it was really cool. We had a little breakfast, bagel, and we shared an apple. And I'm learning simplicity. That is what really matters, like getting back to the basics. And so we have board games, and he wanted to play Sign It. And we just, the 3 of us, when Gabby was down, and it was just beautiful to be able to go. And of course, he's competitive, I'm competitive. Anthony never wins, and so and as far as Gabby, she has a really big imagination.
Yeah.
And so Anthony's been gardening with her, and growing plants and flowers, and I've been homeschooling her since about the end of October. So it's just ironic how everything shifted right before our current climate. And I feel like that was just God allowing me that time to adjust, because I went through my own breakdowns and breakthroughs. And so now we're just on a transition. Anthony's the PE teacher. He's the science teacher.
Nice.
He's the TA, you know, and I'm the primary teacher. And so he works from home. And so we work out, you know, and we're learning each other's strengths, and we heavily lean on one another's strong muscles as we develop those muscles that we probably would run away from if we weren't stuck together in the home, in the space.
And I just want to add, what's very important for little ones is routine.
Yeah.
So, you know, our daughter will wake up and it's like, okay, first you're going to get dressed, no different than daddy gets dressed to go to the computer for his Zoom meetings. You know, it has to be that mindset.
Right.
And, you know, brush your teeth, wash your face, and then, you know, you do your packet of schoolwork.
Right.
And you do it for a little while, then you break, and, you know, there's coloring, listening to music, or making a craft. But you do it routine, because we tried it with a few days, and there was a holiday.
Right.
It just did not work without routine. So
Yeah.
that's very important. And then when it comes to our older child, our adult, it's been stressful.
Yeah.
You know, because he goes to work and then his hours were cut, and my heart goes out to him, because I'm like, okay, well, you know, what's going on? And, you know, we're trying to teach our older one self-sufficiency, so he pays, you know, rent to be responsible.
Right.
And you know what? We had a conversation where it looked like it was going to be this big blowout. And because of the tools that we were able to get from motivating the teen
He
spirit,
became the facilitator, Matt.
Come on, come on.
we honored his feelings when we said, let's talk about it.
Right.
You know, and he was like, well, this is where I'm at. And we're like, well, we love you. This is what we can support you with. But it's been very stressful, because we see the up and down. You know, we as older adults, we want the best for our kids. We want to teach them. We don't want to just give everything to them.
Right.
But you want to make sure they're safe, and then, you know, not being infected out there. You know, you're with the public. So we even had a conversation where we were like, we really want you to stay home.
Right.
Versus just being out there. And he respected that and said, okay, yeah, I won't go out no more.
Wow.
So it's been very enriching for both of our kids and us.
So let me ask you this question. In your home environment, on a normal basis, do you find that your roles are very defined? So, like, for example, Nikki, you had said Anthony is the PE teacher, he's the science teacher. Like, were the roles defined before, or are they more defined now that you're in quarantine?
It's definitely a learning curve as we go. It was not, it definitely was. I mean, I knew that he would have to be the one to do the science and everything, gardening, but as we move along, you know, every day is different, you
Right.
know, and so learning to be really fluid and flexible has stretched us, you know, because of the climate.
Wow. How about for you, John
Plus, we
Esther?
feed off of each other's energy. So if she sees that I'm overwhelmed, hey, you know what? Just go ahead and take 5 or 10 minutes. If I see the same, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and take. So, you know, it's definitely reading each other's cues.
Perfect. John Esther?
Yeah, I think with us, it's been prior to this environment, I believe it was more defined, and you know, there were, you know, I would take care of this, and Esther would take care of, you know, certain things as well. But now it's more fluid, and like Anthony was saying, like you were saying, Anthony, it's so fluid that the things that I would normally do, Esther can catch again if I'm not feeling that day or something like that, because on a normal basis, okay, this is just what we do, and I know that, you know, she's going to do her part, I'm going to do my part. But then at what point do you back out and, you know, kind of sit down and relax because you have your me time?
Right.
And now that's kind of adjusted, you know. So now we're more fluid about filling each other's obligations, and and responsibilities.
Yeah. I think it's a matter too, we're learning now because we're at home and we have all this time to read each other,
Right.
read each other better. You
Right.
have to, right?
Yeah.
If you're we don't know how long we're going to be in this new normal.
Right.
We don't know how long this normal is going to be, and it may be so long that it won't be normal anymore. I mean, it'll be normal. But it won't be a new normal, is what I'm trying to say.
This is
what we do, and so we have learned just to read each other better. So it's easier to adapt and say, okay, I could see, he's not feeling this today. Let me go ahead and get this done. I see that he doesn't want to cook today. So,
so John,
breakfast for dinner.
Hey, now,
Yeah.
Food is fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that you're learning more about each other now than you did before? So you guys have been married 32 years. Are there new things that you're learning even 32 years later, as well as even 10 years later?
Yes. Well,
Definitely.
I've got this saying, and growing up, I've heard people say, and I think it was limiting belief that I had to break out of. And the limiting belief was that I would hear men say, and sometimes women say, when they got married, it's like my partner changed, and and that was a bad thing.
Right.
But what I understand is if they're not changing, then they're not evolving.
Come on.
So we should welcome the change. So every day. And there's another thing my father used to say, you learn something new every day. And I learned something new about you every day. About Esther every day. So,
Right.
yeah, and I think it's a good thing. It's great.
Yeah, it is. Really is. So these moments are really, we look at everything as the glass being half full and not half empty. So what can I take out of this? At the end of the 30 days or the 60 days or the 90 days, how can I be a better person individually? And how can we have a better marriage? So,
Right.
So yeah, it's great.
I would definitely say the same, and learning more about reading one another and being in this space. So whereas we were doing some things, as far as meal prep and working out, those things we had been doing, before, but now I understand that Anthony really is the coach. I am the scheduler. Like, we're going to go hard and do this program,
Right.
but he is the motivator. I may be the main cook, but he is the sous chef, and I'm okay with that,
Right.
because I see how he gets his music set up, and and he's just in the
That's
zone.
good.
And he
That's
really honors that space, and whereas before this situation, you just cut a little bit faster. We don't have enough time, so, now I understand his process and why he's so patient.
Right.
Because he is like really in it. He's present. Whatever he does, he's present. So that's why he likes to take a long time.
Do you think that this is actually giving you guys more time to be present with each other as a couple?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And can I add that, even with that, giving us more time to be present with each other does not mean that there's not breakdowns. But what's good about it is that, you know what, we're going to talk through and we're going to handle this big breakdown right now because, we can't go for a drive or we can't, you know what I mean?
Right.
We could go to another room, for a few minutes, but then it just kind of says, it kind of forces us to communicate and faster address those breakdowns, and just really talk to each other and be very transparent. You know what? This is how I feel about this.
Yeah, communication is the key. It's just really important that you keep the lines open. When one doesn't talk, then that's the issue right there. And, like Nikki and I were like, okay, well, you know what? I need to talk to my friend. And that goes, that above all, because we were friends first.
Right.
This is my soulmate, this is my ride or die, but we were friends.
That's our safe word.
That's our safe.
So then I have to come down.
Wow.
Say, okay, I can hear you now.
I love
in everything and say, let me see my friend.
Wow, I love that. Do you guys have a safe word? you for?
I don't know if we have a safe word,
Get
but I
out.
will tell you.
He said, "Get out."
What I will tell you, especially at the beginning stages of our marriage, and even now, I think one of the things that have kept us together, one of the things is that we were always friends before that. And so we can always revert back to that friendship because we were very good friends. And so I think that's a big part of it, you know?
There was a period of time, and Esther said, you know, that and Nikki, you said as well, the friendship was, you know, getting back to the friendship, getting back to that, and over 32 years, there were pockets in there where that's all we had.
Yeah.
We loved each other, but we had to revert back to the friendship, and if we didn't have the friendship, we wouldn't have made it for 32 years.
Yeah.
Come
So
on.
true. That's very
Tell
true.
the truth.
That's
Wow.
true.
Yeah.
So you guys are both, and what I love is that you guys have teamed up as a couple to create this space for other couples to get together, to support each other, to encourage each other, to vent if they need to vent, and most importantly, to see that they're not alone in this journey, that other parents, other couples, other families are dealing with some of the same thoughts and emotions and frustrations and happiness and all the stuff that's included with this experience. Tell us a little bit more about what you guys are doing. I love this idea of the space that you're creating. How do people get it to be a part of that, and what can they expect by being part of this?
So the concept of it was just everything that you said, just coming together in this climate and offering support and connection. And we came up with what we considered the 4 or 5 things right now that are needed just to help others breathe.
Right.
And so our focus for this 5 free day challenge are spirituality. We're going to be talking about relationships, health and wellness, finances, and also the importance of inspiring and celebrating one another and then ourselves as well. The name of our 5-day challenge is called Real Talk, Real Marriages. So you can find us on Instagram. It's Real Talk _ Real Marriages. And on Facebook, it's the same, Real Talk, Real Marriages. And we also will be streaming live on Instagram and Facebook for no more than 20 or 30 minutes. We want to get in, get out, and move on. But give you some golden nuggets and some wisdom and some laughs too to help you just navigate through this time.
Yes.
So this challenge is going to be, or the 5-day challenge starts when?
April 6th, Monday.
Perfect.
It is at 1 p.m.
Through the
Pacific Standard Time. Did I say that right? And 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
Perfect. On
Monday,
Facebook
Tuesday,
or
Wednesday.
Instagram. We'll make sure to go through and put the information on how to join here as well. I want to thank you guys for, again, taking your time out of your busy schedules and just sharing and dropping some of the wisdom. I know that there are going to be many people that can benefit from just this conversation. And I can't think of 2 amazing, beautiful, powerful, inspiring, loving, dedicated, passionate, compassionate, empathetic couples that I know of that could be doing this particular just movement. And that's really what you guys are creating. So before we leave, we're going to play a real quick game. I'm going to say a statement, and I want you to point to the person that this statement is the most true for. So, for example, there you go. So you guys point. Same time, point to see who it is. All right, you guys ready?
Ready.
All right, this is rapid questions. Here we go. Who is the most humorous? Who is the better cook? Who has the most rhythm? Who has the most rhythm during Adam and Eve time?
getting a little hot in here now.
Who should not sing at a karaoke bar? There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our wonderful couple. Give it up for Anthony and Nikki, John and Esther. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for pouring into the community. You can find out some more information about them and about the 5-day challenge. Go to the link that's going to be directly here and be a part of this conversation. This is a movement that you want to be part of. So we're going to toss it back to Matt inside of the studio, which is me sitting in this chair right here with another background. Oh, there. Look at that. Look at that sweaty. That's how hot you guys got me. Look at that. Bam. All right, back to you, Matt.
That's awesome. Thanks, Matt.
It was literally hot. So that leads us to our question of the day. How do you allow yourself and others in your home space when they need it? Let us know. Use the hashtag #NotTheNews. Put a comment directly below. How do you give each other space? Where do you go? Is there a safe word that you have where you're like, I need to give each other space? Let us know. Put it inside of the chat. For those of you guys that are just wondering, how do we survive this and not become fat? Because I don't know about you, but I'm a late night snacker, and sometimes when I think that I'm hungry, I'm really not. I'm just kind of bored or just need to do some emotional eating. And I wondered, how can I stop eating during this time of quarantine? Well, here's somebody had posted this as their word of advice: wear your swimsuit instead of your pajamas. Ouch. Listen, you guys, I'm your boy, Matt Gil. Please stay connected with us. You can find me at Mateo Gil on Instagram and on Twitter. You can also follow me at the Facebook fan page, Matt Gil fan page, or definitely go to YouTube and like and subscribe, youtube.com/Matt Gil. I can't wait to see you. And listen, here's the big thing, the thing to keep in mind, that through all of this, be like this little piggy and stay home, because this little piggy went to market and caused a big deal. This little piggy stayed home. The rest of the piggies, don't worry about, because that should be you. Next week, our in-house not fitness instructor is going to be coming back and bringing a new form of exercise called scogging. We're going to learn what that is and how you can do it. We're going to have a scogging expert come on and show us exactly what it's all about, so you're not going to want to miss that. On behalf of all of us here at Not the News, me, and, well, Edwin, say bye-bye.
Not the news.